it's Betsy, and today we have a fun video. We're gonna be going over my 2020 bronzer and blush collection. Now, I still have other bronzers and blushes, but that is in face palettes, and these are either single or like just blush palettes, if that makes sense, because I figured that this is the easiest way to do it. And as you can see, I have a rather extensive collection. Okay, so, oh Jesus, that's heavy. Okay, one, two, okay, 1, 2, 3. Hey y'all, it's Betsy, and today, okay, 1, 2, 3. Hey y'all, it's Betsy, and today we have a fun video. We're gonna be going over my 2020 bronzer and blush collection. Now, I still have other bronzers and blushes, but that is in face palettes, and these are either single or like just blush palettes, if that makes sense, because I figured that this is the easiest way to do it. And as you can see, I have a rather extensive collection. So, I think we're gonna go for blush first because that is what the bulk of this is, and I do enjoy a good blushy look. And you know, bronzers can be kind of boring, but blush I think is fun. And we're gonna do a separate video, as I said, on face palettes because I have quite a few of those, enough to warrant its own video. So we're gonna start off. This is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. You've seen me use this on my channel quite a bit. This shade right here, Spacey, is a beautiful blush, and so is Gravity. See how Gravity is like that perfect neutral tone blush? And these blend out like a dream. They work so well. So if you're looking for a blush palette, I think that the Lunar Beauty, this one definitely encompasses a lot of different looks. You know, you've got a little bit more of your peachy tone with the twilight. You've got your true pinks. So I think that this would work for a lot of different complexions as well. Because as you can see, I am not super fair complected, and all the blushes work really, really well on me. Next up is the Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne palette. Now, this used to have these little annoying fluff balls on them, but I pulled them off because they got annoying. And the inside of the blush palette looks like this. It is so, so pretty. And these are like a really good shimmery blush formula, and they're mauvey and pinky. I'm not gonna swatch everything, but I mean, you can see that is a beautiful shimmery blush formula. So these could also go, you could use them as highlighters. So, but you know, if you're looking for something that is more shimmery, this is a great, great palette. And Beauty Bakery is a Black-owned brand. And Lunar Beauty, if you're wondering, this is owned by Manny, MUA. So, next up is the Menagerie Arthurian Blush Palette Volume 1. Now, the artwork on the outside of this packaging is absolutely stunning. I mean, it is so gorgeous, but the inside is just as pretty. Like if you look at on the mirror, it says Unbearably Cute Blush below. And then you've got 9 colors of blush. And I love this because these blushes are so unique. Like this more yellowy goji berry blush, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I mean, it is actually really pretty on my skin. And I also love the blueberry shade, which is more of that lavender. So when you're doing like a really purple or cool tone look, it works. Now these blushes, you need to go in with a light hand because they are uber pigmented. So I'm gonna just grab, this is a Refer 04 angled blush brush. So I'm just gonna kind of dip into one of these so I can show you what I mean. So I didn't pick up very much. And as you can see, that applies quite a bit of blushy goodness on, and it blends out great. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can, yeah, see, you can see now that blushy goodness. So These if you're heavy-handed with your blushes, I'm not sure if I would recommend this palette, but other than that, I think it is absolutely stunning. Now, one of the newest blushes to my collection is, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic in the Climax. This is the booby blushes. They look like nipples. Sorry, can't help it. And it'll always be that because of Teresa is dead. And this color combination, it's what I'm wearing on my cheeks today, is just beautiful. Now, it is a more buildable formula, so it is not something that's gonna like be automatically wham in your face, but I do really, really like the formula. So let's get into some Colourpop. So I have the 4 blushes by the Disney Designer Collection. So first we have Court of Miracles, which is the Esmeralda blush. So that is just a true bright pink. Then we have the Floating Lights, which is more of a cool tone pink. So that's the Rapunzel one. Enchanted Mirror, which is the Belle one. This is my favorite out of them. It's a good nude tone blush. And then last but not least, we have Kiss from a Frog, which is the Tiana Blush. And this is another great blush. Colourpop does have a really good blush formula, and I actually have quite a few Colourpop blushes. I also have 2 from the Mulan collection. And I have Good Luck Charm, which is like this. This is a good neutral tone blush. And then Matchmaker, another good, this is more like a cool tone neutral. The other one is more warm tone neutral, but they're both beautiful. Then I also have from the Succulent collection, I don't remember what it was called, Garden Variety. And this is the Tearing Up My Heart blush. Now this blush is a little bit pale on me, but it's pretty. See what I mean? It's well, right now especially because I'm rocking a tan right now because I've been outside. But yeah, so we've got that. Then I have a couple of Fenty cream blushes. So I have Fuego Flush, which is the orange one. So this is a really pretty cream blush. But this is something I tend to use when I am, so that's kind of what it looks like, when I'm doing more of like that monochromatic look. I mean, orange is pretty. See how it kind of gives that, but it's not something I wear all the time. It's just not the best color on me. And then I also have the Rose Latte shade, which looks like this. Now this is much more my speed. So you can see when you blend that out how beautiful and neutral that is. And these blend out. I like the way these blend out. Now they are a little bit more of like a stiff formula, so blending these out with not really a sponge but more of like a denser brush seems to work best for me to keep from moving my foundation. But I do like the Fenty blushes. Now I do own one of the Patrick Ta blushes. This is in She's So LA. Can you notice a trend? I love a good neutral blush. I love a great neutral blush. So this has the cream formula, and then it has the powder formula. And they're both beautiful. I like both of them. But yeah, I mean, neutral blushes are probably where it's at for me most. Then we have, this is the stick blush in Under Pressure from Colourpop. Looks like this. This is a good stick blush. Probably not my favorite formula, but I do like it. And then I have the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek blush in matte. This is the shade Get Laid. And as you can see, that is pan. I hit pan on this. This is a beautiful coral, see, blush for, and I prefer the way the Super Shock blushes blend out more than the way, see what I'm saying, than the stick blush. But yeah, I hit pan on a blush. See, I can hit pan on things. So those are the Colourpop ones. I'm trying to keep things separated because like this thing is so full of blushes and stuff. It's not even funny. So we're gonna go into my Rare Beauty. So I have a little sample of the Love. I think this is what it's called. So these are uber pigmented and go very far. So I think this shade is Love, if I remember correctly. It doesn't say on this. And then I have Bliss, which is beautiful when I'm a little bit lighter. Then we have Joy, which is my favorite out of them. That beautiful orangey coral. Now, to me, that is a flattering kind of corally shade for the cheek. And then last but not least, oh, no, this is Love. So maybe that was Bliss. I don't remember. Let's see, and then that is Love. And if you're looking for a liquid blush, these are great. I mean, it doesn't take, look how far this goes. I mean, that little bit went that far. So you can over blush with these in a heartbeat, just so you know. But I bet it would be good for underpainting too. But I do love the colors in them, and they're very, very easy to use. But just remember, you can go hardcore and ham overwhelmingly so fast. Okay. Next up is, I have one Becca blush. This came in a BoxyCharm. This is Snapdragon. It's a beautiful pink shimmery blush. It almost reminds me of the NARS Orgasm, which I used to have, but I got rid of because it really wasn't pigmented enough for my skin. Next up is the Hourglass at Night blush. Britt Clark talked me into buying this, but I am so happy that I did. It looks so odd in the pan, but when you get it on the skin, like, it is a beautiful, see that flush? It is a beautiful brick red formula, and I love the undertone of that blush. I think it is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, so next up is, this is the One Cover Effects blush I have. This is in Spiced Cinnamon. This really only works for me when I'm at my deepest, because it is a little dark. I mean, you can sheer it out some, but the formula on these is super great, and you can mix them as well. But I do like this formula. But I only bought one of them because I really did not need more blushes in my life. Because as you can see, I have quite a few. Next up, I have two of the Kaleidos blushes, the Low Fly Blusher Duos. My husband bought me these. And like, this one is Rose. And it pretty much is a shimmery and a, so you can see the shimmery works really well as a highlight on me. The Rose blush is a little bit on the pale side. But, you know, my husband bought those, so those will stay. Even though that really isn't, the blushes is not where it's at from Kaleidos, honestly. It's really not my favorite. And then we have, this is the one in Peach, which I like this one much better. This one works for me much better. So, let's see, let's watch that on the other hand. So you see what I mean? That blush works better, and then the highlight, like to make it, like if you mix them together, see that? It's very pretty. So I do like the Peach one a whole lot more than the Rose one, but neither one of them are my favorite, especially the matte side. Just not the biggest fan of the matte side. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Now we have, last but not least in our selection of blushes, my Melt ones. So this is the Genesis Highlight, but I like to use it as a glowy blush. And I want to go ahead and grab one of my Royal blushes so I can kind of show you. So this is Genesis. It looks like this. As you can see, I've used it quite a bit. and it looks like this. And it is gorgeous as a glowy blush. Absolutely stunning. So that's what it looks like, okay? Now, this is the Buzzkill from the Royal Blush collection. So I'm gonna wipe my hand off, and I'm gonna swatch each shade kind of side by side. So this is the Buzz side, and then this is the Kill side, okay? And then when you kind of mix the two together, it looks almost identical to Genesis. It's a little bit, see, Genesis has a little bit more oranginess, and Buzzkill has just a tad bit more peachiness. It's beautiful, but if you have Genesis, you don't need Buzzkill, or vice versa. But I still am happy that I have both of them because I love that melt formula. That was the Digital Dust formula, and people were using that as a blush, and that's, I think, why they started doing the Royal Blush collection. Okay, so, and then I have this one. This is one of their matte formulas. This is the shade Honey Thief, which is, again, a good neutral blush. I do enjoy Melt's matte formula, so I've used that one quite a bit. And then we have our last two from Melt, which is Raw Honey, which is a very cool tone blush. Now, this one is very difficult for some people to wear. So that's what they look like, because that cool toneness, so that's what they look like separate, and then we'll kind of blend them together, can make you look very, very ashy. I have found with these blushes, this one in particular, that for myself personally, this works best if I'm not wearing a bronzer. Like, it works best if I'm just using a blush. But I mean, I think that color is stunning. And I love a good shimmery blush. It's one of my favorites. And then last but not least, dry my hand off, is Queen Bee. Now, I love this one. I love that more gold kind of color. So again, you can see what those look like separate. It's when you mix them together, see? That has that beautiful warm kind of glow, which to me screams summer blush. But it didn't come out during the summer, or at least I don't think it did. I don't even remember when it came out. So many things come out all the time. Okay, now we're going to get into bronzers. And I have a lot. Well, I have a few. I don't have a whole lot. So first off, we'll go over my contour kind of things when I'm actually doing contour, which is not very often. I do use them every once in a while. So I have pretty much 4 cream contour things. So first off, we'll go over the Huda Beauty. So I purchased the Tantour first in the shade Tan, which during the summer, or when I'm at my darkest, is a good color. I mean, it is deep, and I didn't realize how deep it was when I originally purchased it, but I mean, this blends out. See, it's like a good cool tone color. So as you can see, it blends out really, really well. So I do like that color, but it is a little deep for me most of the time, actually almost all the time, unless I'm like super duper dark. But I can use it very sparingly as like the back accent of my cheekbones, and that works pretty well with it. But I also own the medium one, which works so much better for me. And these are great. They're nice, creamy formula, and they blend out like a dream. And it is a good mixture. It is like a deeper kind of cool tone color, but it would work for bronzer as well. And then we have my 2. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand in the shade Fair Medium, or Fair to Medium. That's what that looks like. And this blends out so easy, guys. It's not even funny. And then we have, this is my Fenty matchstick in the shade Mocha. These are great. This is one of my favorites. See how beautiful that color is? And it blends out, I mean, see, that is a good color. I do like that a whole lot. Okay, then I do have a couple more cream products. Ooh, I forgot about this one. This is the KKW contour stick. This is the light medium contour. And this is a great cool tone contour. Where this thing shines is when you're wanting to do a nose contour. And then they have more of a warm side. But I think that's where that shines. That's the only time I really ever use this, because I really don't do a whole lot of nose contour, but it is pretty. Sorry for the train. It's kind of, I'm not sure what it's doing. Oh, I missed a blush. This is the Anastasia blush trio in Peachy Love. Now, I have used this a few times. It probably doesn't look like it's been used much, but it is a very pigmented formula, so you don't really need a lot. And I purchased this because of the orangey peachy goodness. So, but that again is not the standout from Anastasia, if that makes sense. And then I have a couple of more cream bronzers, and then that is this is the Fenty cream. Touched it with that in Macchiato. So this is more of that cool tone bronzer, and this works for me when I am pretty pale, see, and it blends out beautifully. Doesn't that sound, I don't know what that is. That sounds like a tugboat going down the road. Like, my goodness. Can you not be quiet while I'm filming, if that's only how it worked? And then I just purchased this. This is the Soul Body Bronzer in Medium. I've used it once. I do really like the consistency of this. It blends out really well, and it smells so good. It smells so good. It kind of reminds me of candy. It's I don't know, and I can't tell you what candy it reminds me of, but I really do like that. And some days I just want to use cream products. Not all the time, but sometimes I do. Okie dokie. So one I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get rid of. This is the Clinique Colourpop bronzer, and this is just not enough bronze for me, like, at all. So I mean, I'm gonna swatch it on this hand. I mean, as you can see, I mean, that is pretty much almost my skin tone. So it doesn't give enough depth. So, and I'm just not the biggest fan of how it performs. So kind of like the Lo-Fi Light Rose I'm gonna get rid of, and I think I'm gonna get rid of this Anastasia one as well, because again, that is not my favorite formula. So I know that those can go, and this Colourpop. Okay, then we have the Butter Bronzer, which I'm wearing today. This is an oldie but a goodie. It is so good. And this is the Deep Bronze. Again, it doesn't show up much on my hand, but it does show up quite a bit on my face. Then we have the Anastasia bronzer in Rich Amber. Now this is a deep bronzer, and it is pigmented. Now the one thing I can say about this Anastasia one is you do want to make sure you set your face before using it, because it will stick very bad. Like, it does not like to blend out well over anything that's still sticky and wet, if that makes sense. But I do like the formula, and I like to hold on to it. Another bronzer that I have that this doesn't really work for me super well is this Aladdin one, but I keep it because it's Aladdin. shocked that MAC released a bronzer with it, but I'm happy I have it. I just don't use it. Then this is the, see those? This is the Cover FX Monochromatic Bronzer Duo. So there, I think this is Sun Kissed Bronze. I think they only have the one shade. And as you can see, I mean, it's just a pretty bronzer. It works great on my skin, and you know, again, I'm super stoked to have it in my collection. Okay, now we're getting into some of my favorites. So we have, this is the Stalker bronzer by Fenty Beauty in Island Thing. This is a beautiful bronzer, and it is a unique color. Now things are not wanting to blend out at this point. I've wiped my hands down like 50,000 times and I'm covered in glitter, but I do really like that bronzer. Then we have the Gucci bronzer number 2, which the Gucci bronzer number 2 is actually a very deep color for it to be like, this is supposed to be their light bronzer. See what I mean? In comparison to a lot of them that I've used, that is a deeper bronzer for that light of a color. But I do really enjoy the Gucci bronzer formula. A lot more than I thought I would. We have 2 more bronzers. So we have got, this is the Ambient Bronzer by Hourglass and Radiant Bronze Light. This is the deepest bronzer that they offer, which annoys me because this is not deep enough for most. But it does have a beautiful like sheen, and Hourglass does their powders right. I wish I didn't like them, but I do. And this is a gorgeous bronzer. And then last but not least is my newest bronzer, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrushed Bronzer in number 2 medium. So as you can see, well, I mean, let's show you the difference between these 2 medium bronzers. So you can see the Gucci looks much deeper. But again, Charlotte does these powders so beautifully. So beautifully. So I really enjoy that. But I mean, as you can kind of see, I don't keep a whole lot of bronzers and stuff in my collection. I have more blushes, but even that in comparison to like the astronomical amount of eyeshadow palettes I have, or the astronomical amount of highlighters I have, bronzers and blush, there's not a whole lot of. I like a good neutral blush. I have some fun colors, but you know, I don't need 20,000 blushes, if that makes sense. So I am happy with what I have in my collection, but that is pretty much all that I need. So we're gonna end it there. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos, which through December 25th will be every single day. So through Christmas, we're doing kind of Vlogmas. I'm not exactly sure what it's called because I don't have a cute little name. Can't be Betmas or Bemis, or, you know, it sounds weird. But I guess that's it. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.